Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good week. For this week's video, the poem that I'm about to read came through in the last week or so. It was an impromptu piece that was inspired by my recent trip to Rhode Island over Labor Day weekend. And it goes a little something like this. Sailing away on a Friday, along the waters of Narragansett Bay, all the cares in the world fade, gone, floating amongst the waves, the sun shining high in the sky, as the breeze whips up the masts. Conversations and drinks are flowing, nothing but endless horizons, boats out on the water, with history on all sides. Newport's got a pretty chilled vibe. This is the view, seen in my eyes, a new happy place in my mind. So yeah, this poem actually came about Monday morning. I was in Providence actually. My sister and I were in our hotel room. We're about to head down to have breakfast Monday morning because we still had at least half the day to sightsee before we caught our flight back to New York City on Monday afternoon. It was that this came out of the rare moment where I had space to myself, and the weekend had been such a whirlwind that I had no interest in writing. I brought my notebook and a pen with me, as I do every time I travel, but I didn't come up with anything. I guess I just wanted to let everything go, as it's been a bit of a bumpy few weeks leading up to the trip with family health issues coming to the forefront. So it was kind of touch and go as to whether this weekend was going to happen. And thankfully, there we were on Friday morning. Taking the Acela train from Penn Station to Providence. The trip had a little bit of a bumpy start as Amtrak was delayed leaving Penn Station. So as a result, the domino effect, we missed our ferry the ferry that we bought tickets for to Newport. So after an hour-long bus ride that was still scenic nonetheless, we arrived in Middletown, which is about 15 minutes outside of Newport itself. As we were arriving in Providence, the plans were already in motion to take a cruise around Narragansett Bay. As the sunset cruises were already booked up, we just happened to find a moment of opportunity with a cruise at 4:30 in the afternoon. And we bought tickets for it. So there we were at Bannister's Wharf, boarding the Newport Classic Cruises ship, the Madeline. And for the next hour and a half, it was smooth sailing in the sunshine and blue skies, with a major dose of credit to Captain John for steering the ship, and our guide Kat for bringing the stories of Fort Adams and the mansions that line the coastline to life, and as well as Cat telling her own story of all the lives she's lived, all the places she's been, and how she came to settle in Rhode Island. It was just that it's that imagery of us on the water, leaving all the cares of the world, all the noise behind, even if it was only for an hour and a half. And this sail, which I had to hit the deja vu again, as I was reminded of the catamaran trip around Santorini during last year's trip. Only different was it was a bit cooler in Newport than it was in Greece. But the same feeling of serenity, being amongst the waves and soaking up the sunshine in good company, was still the same. It's set for the fact that we got to take that late afternoon sail alone. It justified us going to Newport for the weekend, and then spending the rest of the weekend in Providence. Like, it was worth every penny to be away from home last weekend, just to be able to find joy. And in some cases, when you try to find joy, you have to get out of your present environment to do so, and let the environment that you're in work its magic on you, as it did on me last weekend. Days later, I'm still on the boat, sailing in Narragansett Bay, still soaking up the sunshine. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. Hope all of you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody.